Welcome to another episode of Top Corner Podcast, and today's co-host is Julian. Julian, how you doing, man?
It's
been a hectic week.
We are spinning round and round. We've got a good show for you today. Just a quick little run through. Bayer Leverkusen wins their title for the first time in the club's history.
Yeah.
Liverpool and Arsenal both dropped 3 points in a crucial title race, and City cruised through Luton Town like it was nothing, despite conceding a goal against a club that you should probably want to keep a clean sheet for. But other than that, there's still a lot of little bits of news running around the park. How was your weekend?
Was there? I can say. I mean, I made it, so no biggie, I guess. But wait, there's a lot of important things that happened during last week and the weekend, or the week before leading to the weekend.
Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, a lot of good games. I'm telling you, I'm talking top games, and the Premier League, which is obviously in the battle right now, where you have these 3 musketeers that are competing.
Yep.
And in the Bundesliga more than ever, and I think they're watching their TV rate went really up. And to be fair, I think that it was really enjoyable this year, watching like an underground guy coming, swooping, taking everything, smashing everyone. Yeah, taking everyone to school.
That's the thing. Not only just winning the title, but like lossless. Like not a single loss in the domestic league, but they're undefeated in the Europa League as well, aren't they?
They're undefeated. Yeah.
It's pretty unbelievable, man.
Yeah, they did it the good way. But let's go to our news and rumors. We'll come back to Bundesliga. I mean, we got a lot of news going on for you guys. Anthony Martial will leave Manchester United at the end of the season.
Yep.
No doubt.
Which
he got to go.
Well, and even last week we were talking with Iwan, who is a as he even said, a blind United supporter, which again, I respect that as long as you know that you're very biased. One of the biggest mistakes is not necessarily the big $100 million signings that they've had, but it's things like that. Like, how many extensions has Martial attained?
Yeah.
I think maybe he's re-signed twice more than he should have.
Yeah.
And those are some of the mistakes that you look at as well. You know. But yeah, it's over. It's done.
Let's just go the cleaning out a little bit. Because close it.
He went on loan a couple of seasons ago to Sevilla, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Remembering that right?
Something like that.
What level of a club? I'm not asking you like what club do you think he signs for. Like, what level roughly do you think that he actually is currently at and kind of always has been at?
I wouldn't say has, because it's interesting because I'll say currently, I don't know, he might be a solid social auxiliary in France.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was in England, some like Luton Town, solid.
Do you think that maybe somewhere mid-table in the Spanish league, kind of like a Sevilla, maybe you go for like a Real Betis kind of a deal, or like what do you think?
I can see him doing good there too. No, not doing good. I can see him at that level, but I don't know if his game would really translate to that. But
I agree.
The thing about this is also like you have these players that they do like this astronomical good 1 year, and then the stock skyrocket, and you end up. It's like a pyramid scheme. You end up buying the product and you figure, it wasn't that good.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
So.
And like that should always be the way that clubs look. Like, don't ever make any purchase off one season, even if it's at a value. I think
you really can't tell too, because look at Bellingham. Look at there's a lot of there's a lot of people that went on to become good or great, and there's a lot that that season was kind of like a fake.
Well, and it's kind of arrogant on the club's part as well, because like you said, you're right. Like players like Bellingham, where he probably had 2 very solid seasons at Dortmund.
That's true.
And but for that big purchase, I mean, it's like for other clubs to attempt that, they're basically saying, we have the same recruiting scouts as Real Madrid, we're good to go. It's like no. Like certain players, certain clubs can do that. But I don't think it's a good precedent to set for all the clubs around the league.
It's like Dembele leaving Dortmund.
Mm-hmm.
He was killing it. Then he went to Barcelona. It just didn't work out, But still now at Paris Saint-Germain, I feel like he's finding his groove. But the thing about it is, I feel like sometimes too, the player, it's kind of like a scam in a sense, but also sometimes the player goes to an environment that really don't match his style of play or skills. You end up dropping a form. But nonetheless, happy for United. You got to start offloading. As a matter of fact, sell all the team.
I agree. Yeah, get them all out. Even the bus driver, get the bus driver out of there.
Get everyone. All of it. Even the ball boy. Yeah, get him out.
I don't care, you little runt. Go work an ice cream stand or something, idiot.
Ten Hag versus Garnacho social media saga.
Okay, explain this to me because I saw the news like late last night and or early this morning, and I don't quite know exactly what it was. I heard that
I will try to.
He threw Garnacho under the bus, but like I don't know exactly what it was for again. It didn't make sense to me.
I think Garnacho liked the tweet that one of the how you put polls up. I think a YouTuber put like a comment that is Garnacho being subbed a good something like is it right or is it a good move or questioning the sub of Garnacho sub doing a Bournemouth game. And it's been going on for I think 5 consecutive games that Garnacho's been subbed out like that, and he liked the thing.
As a way of kind of sticking.
I think it was a tweet, so he liked it, and they make a big fuss about it, and they said he will be internally disciplined. But I mean, I get that it shows some level of disrespect towards I mean, you the manager or the club coach, and it shows some level of disrespect. Also, is it a right time to ask what is actually going on in the locker room? Because like
he's not the first player that's kind of come out like this, and I felt like because I like him a lot, and I think it was last season where do you remember like he got in like really big trouble? Like he said or did something, I forgot what it was. Like it was internal discipline of the club, and apparently like people close to him, like it was a couple of players, but also like I think his parents kind of sat him down, and said like, look, man, you're on the road to becoming a real shithead, and nobody likes that guy. I know that you like that guy because you're like 17 right now, and apparently he came back and had like a brand new attitude, and I liked that a lot because one, he was playing well again, and I thought that he sort of outgrew that. Now, don't get me wrong, this was a very small version of that. I don't think that necessarily liking a tweet is a bad thing. What I think is bad is attempting to use social media
as a way to express you,
to be passive aggressive like that. Like that again, like we've said this all about fucking Manchester United. No one's saying these things out loud in the locker room or in one-on-one with the coaches or with staff. That's not a bad thing at all. You should be able to say those things to your organization. If not, then you leave. But when you use this as a way to sort of gain traction by bringing it out to the public, and basically what you're doing is you're going around your manager to get to your audience, and then the audience has blowback on the manager, usually in a way that you were too scared to say something to the manager's face. And that's what I don't respect at all.
I think the disrespect is evident, but I think too that, man, they gotta let that social media stuff alone, bro.
Like, just you don't need to be on there. You don't need to be on there, honestly.
Guess what? Manchester City prepared to smash the transfer record on Jamal Musiala.
Wasn't it like 130? Something like 20? Something ridiculous.
That's big money.
That is crazy.
I think
money.
they're looking at really tuning up their midfield.
Well, so before we get to that really fast, let's back up a little bit for the price, because it's still nowhere close to the Neymar deal for PSG. Here's the question then: if we're talking about transfer records, do we even bother bringing that one up? Because I feel like if you just take that away, the field's more interesting because it's like record signing this and that, but it's like that one's still so far away from everybody else that there's almost no point in bringing it up. Does it make sense?
I don't think in the next 10 years, the way football is going, they will get to the point where probably the Neymar transfer record becomes like the norm. But
or at least the way that 100 million is normal now. It's still not normal. But there's one or two every couple of years or so.
I just meant because like, and you can see that no one ever got into that one still. but it was the Saudis is a way of making a statement or whatever.
It was a top three.
But
it was a top 3 player in the world with one of the wealthiest clubs in the history of the sport.
Yeah,
there were just too many things falling in place. Like they were the only ones that could really afford that deal, and how many clubs were actually in the running for Neymar other than like re-signing with Barcelona and going to PSG? I don't remember anyone else really being there.
I don't remember.
Because even City was not at the same like level that they are now. Whereas I feel like if he was maybe 5 or 6 years younger, he would have skipped PSG. Like if he was in that make or break now, he would have gone to Man City instead of PSG.
Yeah, probably.
If the landscape was what it was now.
The whole thing too, it was for him to. I think at the time he was also gunning for like personal achievements, or also the light more focus on him instead. At Barcelona, everything was a little bit Messi focus, and he just wanted to have his own team.
Yeah.
But guess what? You get to PSG and there's this new kid that's 18 years old and that's his team now. You're like, bruh, I just had all these things going on for me.
So here's something interesting as well. Like because I feel like PSG was very destructive for Neymar's personality as well. Like it didn't help him at all. I feel like what if he hadn't? Because you're right. The reason that he went there was, one, the money was right. It was the only real team that could offer something like that.
Yeah.
And they were wanting to give him basically complete and total freedom.
Yeah.
If they didn't have that money, if they didn't make that offer, if Man City was the only one that could afford him, do you think that he could have went there and just bit the bullet and kind of become a team player? Or do you because you don't do that kind of stuff to Pep. You don't jerk Pep around.
Yeah, but unless you're Messi.
If PSG wasn't there for him to sort of run to get that freedom, do you think that he could have succeeded at Man City and just kind of said, okay, you know what, this version of me, this kind of like icon version of me where I'm the most important person ever, is gone. Yeah. And I'm just a player, but I'm still a top player. Because your identity as a Man City player doesn't go away. Mm-hmm. You're still, like Aguero's identity didn't go away as an amazing striker. It's just not about you.
Yeah. I feel like if he had gone to one of these teams, probably would have talked about Neymar or his accomplishment or individual accomplishment more. And because although you will be a team player, you'll also be the guy. But the thing about it too, well, he played in Barcelona, so I guess that point won't make that much sense.
Yeah.
But the point I was trying to make is freedom too, because there's one thing that, and one day I would like to really discuss this as a whole thing, that we really do research and talk about it, is the Brazilian style. I'm also worried if it will have flourished under Pep itself.
Yeah.
Because Pep is so, it's more of togetherness. It's a team thing. And I think that even today, even Brazilian football is kind of failing in the sense because they're trying to kind of adopt it's not just from the conception of a player.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it will translate to Pep's, but another team that had more freedom, but more freedom in the sense of you on the field doing what you want to do or just playing what you want to, expressing yourself, but with less icon status of being an iconic player. Like if he had gone to Madrid, then
one, I don't like. I genuinely think that fans would have tried to kill him. Seriously, like, and like, I'm not. It's not
from
me.
Barcelona.
Yeah, I think it's not me. It's not me wishing it. It's just like I'm sitting there going, ooh.
Oh, Liverpool. Liverpool would have been a good place for him at the time. Club just took the club. Him just transferring like that little 2007. Yeah.
I think that it would have been a little too much of a gamble for him, though.
Yeah,
I agree. It would have been the right choice, and he would have done well. And we know that looking back on it now.
Yeah.
But I feel like he either wanted to be the prince
the
sitting on a pile of cash,
or
going into a ready-made team.
But nonetheless, I always think that in football, there's always there's always areas where there's one player that comes in, even as good as your team or the team manager or the coach is good at putting players together and instilling the sense of unity and playing together, where it's not about a player. There's always one player in a generation where it's about him.
Yeah.
Because these people are just born like that. It's like even Pep doing this at the time he was Barcelona. Messi was the guy.
Oh yeah.
So, it's just one of those things. So, and I feel like he did not understand. He has so much talent, but might be, if he had a fortune teller, he would have understood that his talent is more for is supposed to be translated as a team player, not as the guy.
Yeah.
You know, like Onadino, of course he was the guy, but he was more a team player. Like if you had a good striker with Onadino, the striker will shine. Onadino will still shine, but the striker will shine because of abundance passes and everything coming his way. So I think that was Neymar's job.
And that kind of reminds me, and different position, different skill sets, but similar style, like Kevin De Bruyne. Like Man City is his team.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to be the flashy showman. Like when you distribute the ball that well and you're that big of a threat yourself, like your identity and importance to the club is very obvious without you having to outwardly say it. And or I mean, and then it comes down to your personal identity as well. I mean, like Messi's not the like cocky, like this is my team. Like it just is his team. He doesn't have to say that. Certain guys have to say that. Ronaldo kind of had to say that at times, and I'm not saying that he was wrong. It just kind of that's the way it was. And Neymar wanted to be able to say, "This is my team," and it's never really happened.
Unfortunately, he went and met this 18-year guy.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Anyway, fuck him. It's all over.
Another thing is Chelsea. 11 Chelsea stars to leave this summer in a ruthless exodus.
Yep.
With shock names tipped for departure report.
Who you got on there?
I wonder if they put the shocking names here, but it would have been nice.
Gallagher was one. Mudryk was one.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Enzo Fernandez was one as well. That one was kind of shocking. Like they were interested in letting him go.
Yeah.
Or he was interested in going.
Thiago Silva is also expected to leave.
That's a big one, but not a shock. I mean,
it's a big one, not a shock, because he's getting there.
They need to replace him though, because I don't think that Disasi is that bad. I think that he just has awful tactics, and he has no one reliable around him. Although we would agree that Badiashile has not shown that he is at that level.
Yes.
Whereas I do think that Disasi could be in a Big Six club. He just needs a bit more around him for sure.
Conor Gallagher, I think he will leave because there was some, I read somewhere that there was trouble of him renewing his contract or them trying to renew his contract. Trevor Chalobah, Ian Matson gotta go. Armando Bora,
and he's already on loan.
Yeah, he gotta go too. Just stay there, bro. Lewis Hall. Was also Lewis Hall. I think he's on loan to Newcastle too.
Yeah.
I don't think they will get back the money they spend for these guys.
They're not getting back any of the money on any of them.
It's a good thing though.
They already paid too much
because Poch.
Everyone's stock has gone down.
Poch said they need some veterans and they need some new players, and just to kind of merge them together. So I'm interested to know what veterans he's trying to get.
He always finds a way to state the obvious in a way that he thinks, and it's like, no, we just need a balance of veterans and new players. Like, oh, you mean every good team ever? Understood. Yeah. We just need to do what everyone else does to be successful, and then we'll be successful. And it's like, no, yes, idiot. The fact that you're having to say this way shows that there's a lack of understanding at the top of what actually needs to happen.
Yeah.
One thing in the news and rumor still, I saw it today. PSG came out and stated that Rashford was never on their radar.
Oh, burner.
Yeah,
burner.
Awesome. Then I don't believe it was as mean as the way that I just said it was, but they kind of said that we're not looking for him, stating that he was never quite. So
I wonder where Rashford will go though.
Yeah,
because that
made sense, and I didn't think that it would be a good choice, but I could see PSG making that choice. If that makes sense.
I wonder if he will actually either leave or the coach will want to sell him, because Rashford is also, I think he's a son of the club itself, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He has to go.
He has to go.
Most of that Man United side have to go. And I think that he needs to go. I could see...
For me, I feel like he has to go in the sense that I don't see him working well with Erik ten Hag. And I think that's probably why his morale is down. I feel like a change of environment would be good for him and the club.
Do you think change of league? That he has to get out of the league?
League-wise, I'm not sure. But
I think people are tired of just seeing him. Not that it matters. It's not like it's an entertainment-based thing. It's whoever's best for the club. But you don't think that he could go to maybe? I'm trying to think of a German side that would use him. I mean, Dortmund need help up front.
Yeah.
They need help up front, and at that club, you're kind of allowed to succeed and fail on your own terms. You're not expected to win every year.
And the good thing is that you won't have your buddies around to go to parties. You'll be in a different country.
Bunch of Bavarians.
Yeah, so you have to...
They probably listen to different music.
Yeah, you have to really train. And probably language barrier will make it that you stay at home.
Stay in your house.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he has children or not, but it's just like, dude, just do what everyone else does. Just fucking play video games all day. I don't know. A new Final Fantasy came out. You'll have 120 hours straight of content to just go in there. Obviously, Bayer Leverkusen's too. I'm looking at some top German sides.
Okay.
They're too particular right now. They've got a sweet system that works perfectly for them.
You know what?
Munich probably not so much either.
They probably could go there in Leverkusen and do good under Xavi Alonso.
Maybe
just because I think that change of environment, having someone that's like Xavi Alonso, just kind of being mentoring in a sense, and he's still got a lot of football in him. So
let me read off a couple of people on this Dortmund side. I did just see, I forgot that Jordan Sancho went back there. Do you want them together again? I don't know about that. But you got Jadon Sancho.
That might be a good thing.
I don't know if they got if they were part of the issue together or not. Sebastian Haller is there, who's very good in the middle. You'd be basically competing with Bino Gittins and I think Daniel Malin. Mm-hmm. So there's room in that front group of forwards for him to sneak in there. Let's assume that
can go. I feel like his. I don't know. I feel like his game could translate to Spanish football too, because he's not overly fast, but he's not slow either.
He used to be fast.
Yeah,
he used to be very fast.
One guy that now I'm thinking about him that actually changed, kind of like he still uses his pace once in a while, but he has changed. My guy Mbappe.
Yeah,
Mbappe doesn't he will speed up when he wants to.
He's not a burner. He's not a burner anymore.
Yeah, apart from the antics, I feel like his game is really translating to maturity in a sense, in a way that he will burn when he wants to or speed when he wants to. But he's more an overall team player now. He's kind of LeBron James kind of players. Yeah, where he will pass around, and if he has to score, he will score.
So what about this front three at Atletico? What about Rashford on the left? Memphis Depay in the middle, and then Antoine Griezmann on the right.
That could work.
Not a bad little setup.
That could work actually.
Interesting idea. Take notes, Atletico staff.
Yeah, and if you ever do that, you gotta give us a shout out.
Yeah, 5% a piece. Nothing crazy. But we're here to do the work for you.
Let's do a quick recap of the Champions League. Yep. Man, if we had that song, I would have put it on. It's a French song about Champions League, but y'all probably know about it. Madrid 3-3 City. That was a draw. That was a really good game. Arsenal 2-2 Bayern Munich. That's a draw. Paris Saint-Germain 2-3 Barcelona had 1-0. Atletico Madrid 2-1, and I think it was the first time that since 2013 or 12 that the semi-final had more goals than
Yeah, was it 18 goals in 4 games?
Yeah.
Why? Insanity. Absolute insanity.
Crazy. They were scoring. It
was a very good week of matchups.
Yeah. City, Madrid. The good thing that when I see games that involve an extreme, like this new era of playing football with, if you had City, Arsenal, the game is I think it's overthought. They think too much about it.
Yeah.
So you end up having a slight boring game. And a really
those two teams in particular have a history of lackluster matchups.
Yeah. But if you have someone like City Madrid or City, even Liverpool, is different because there's not the emphasis of being too tactical in the sense of spaces or box to box.
Well, because Pep and Arteta both actively want to be considered the best tacticians.
Yeah.
Klopp, even though he is a good tactician, that never feels like it's his top priority. It's the work ethic and the press.
Yeah, I think his emphasis is more quick transition, pressing more. Yeah. Madrid is just let the guys do what they can do. He's still a tactician, don't get me wrong. But I like more his style because players.
It's more free and fluid.
It's more fluid football. and the game was good, honestly. But I think that Bellingham, Vinicius Junior didn't have a good game. He messed up around a lot. I don't know what was in his head. I found him doing some weird things but I think that if they go back and have a great game, then it will be difficult for City. Yeah. But City too is getting Walker and Stones back. So different story, my guy.
I don't know why. Well, one, Vinicius Junior is not a number 9. Like, I'm looking at the 4-2-3-1 setup that they had. I mean, we've been talking about them all season long. Most of the time, they run a 2-man front, don't they? Mm-hmm. Like, this season, they've cut out the 3 forwards moves. They have a right forward and a left forward, and that was it. And Rodrigo and Junior would work well together like that, with Bellingham right behind them. But, like, I mean, you're asking, like, what he was doing. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's what happens when a winger has to step in the center, and vice versa. Like, not everybody can fluidly transfer that way like Mbappe.
Yeah.
And they show that. And it's like, and it's not saying that he's not a good forward. It's just like, when you have so many players that have the ability to do different things, sometimes you take for granted what they're actually the best at.
Yeah.
And
but he had 2 assists though. So I think that although he didn't have a good game, because I know the potential. Yeah. But for him to play like that was really good. So
it takes away. Go ahead, sorry. Go.
Imagine if he really have a good game. So that would be difficult.
It takes away too many of his tools. Yeah. Putting him in the center, like whether you have a good singular game or not, like that. Like, I mean, 2 assists on the day that's a good output. But at the end of the day, we know that he can do more, and that his skill sets lie elsewhere.
That goal from Valverde was absolutely well. Phil Foden's goal was bonkers.
Yeah.
Guardiola goal was also amazing.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Yeah, I think he was forced to shoot.
It's your first goal for the club, and what a goal it was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Amazing. So so interested to see how that will work out, especially that Stones is gonna be back, Walker's gonna be back. So I'm interested to see Arsenal, Bayern Munich too. Bayern Munich kind of lost everything right now. They just focus on Champions League, so that's probably why they are playing how they are playing. But I did not get the chance to watch this game really. I just kind of chopped the highlights off. But from what I can tell, Gnabry had a good game. Saka had an amazing game. But they have to change up a lot of things a little bit. I think if I was Arsenal, I'll probably try to put Tomiyasu.
Oh yeah,
just to come with that defensive.
Well, and he's coming back from injury as well. And he's been introduced late in the last 3 or 4 games, and he came on for quite a bit during the Aston Villa loss, which he did not play a part in, by the way, of that loss. But no, he is definitely your starting left back. I think he's the most balanced defensively and offensively.
Yeah, because you don't want Sané to do this runs in every time, every year. You don't want.
And that was Kevior all day. Yeah. Kevior got burnt, and Gabriel had to come in and pay the cost for that one.
Yeah. So definitely, I would do that.
Gabriel has had a dip in form, but he's also been put in very bad positions by some people around him as well. Yeah. It's been a mix. Villa, he made a couple of mistakes himself, but the ones that really cost were the ones that he was having to make do with and try to improvise from someone else's mistake.
Yeah.
And then even that just reflects poorly on him as well.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how this will work out. But honestly, it could go. I'm more. I would say I'm 55-45.
Yeah.
Because Bayern has nothing to lose at this moment, and Arsenal, to be honest, and I said this, right? Champions League wise, but even Arsenal is just Arsenal. People don't understand, but I feel like Arsenal is kind of like Tottenham too. Same thing, same story. You think they're gonna be great, but at some point,
and especially in less in the Premier League, honestly, but because at least they do have titles to their name.
Yeah,
and they are the third most winning club in English history for the English title.
And most of those people and most of those titles, many people that are supporting Arsenal now were not even born to see it.
So yeah, I mean, most people's grandparents weren't born to see some of those. So most of those, but I mean, it's at the end of the day. I mean, that's the point of history.
And we're gonna talk about it. But I'm thinking if they want to win this game, they have to come hard. They have to. The defense has to be good because what Bayern Munich is gonna do, and they're always gonna they're gonna be shooting from far. They're gonna be transition. they're gonna be fast as hell, and that's all they have now. So
and they put themselves in the situation. You don't want to play in Munich, even on even legs in the second leg. Like you bled those 2 goals. You could have walked. I don't know. It's very frustrating. You gotta lean more toward Bayern Munich going in. Even on goals, momentum on their side in this competition,
especially in what they're suffering right now in Germany.
And I swear to God, if I see Havertz anywhere near the midfield, I don't know why they make the choice. Very interesting tactics as of late. Like you treated Aston Villa, and we'll get to that one.
Yeah,
you treated Aston Villa like it was fucking Luton Town. What are you doing?
I watched Paris Saint-Germain Barcelona. Honestly, that was a good game. But the thing about Paris Saint-Germain is always their defense getting caught on these things. But they really had a great game. Mbappe was a little quiet because Barcelona did a great job. Araujo and Araujo, how you say it.
Yeah.
And, Koundé did great defending him.
And Koundé has been hit or miss this season. So he showed up in a very important time.
Yeah,
and Rafinha was wild. Wild.
That kid, Kubasi.
Yeah.
Amazing. Man, these guys, I feel like this is the generation this is the era that we have a lot of prominent, good, amazing talent of less than 20.
Yeah.
There's so many across all leagues. It's crazy.
Training at youth is just getting better.
Yeah.
They're figuring out exactly what needs to stay, what needs to go. And they're just, they're churning out these really, really young people. Barcelona's really hitting an interesting stride late. I'm not saying that they're favorites to win the Champions League, but remember how poor they were in form at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
They were very poor, and they've climbed back up to second in the league. And even though it's not the league itself, calm down, people, it's not as competitive as the Premier League in terms of how many teams are gunning for the top slot. But I mean, you're still second in a very, very, very talented league. So you're not squandering much there. And, I think that they can claw something out against PSG, and they're on an easier side of the bracket.
Yeah.
You could see them in a final if they continue playing as consistently as they have been lately.
Yeah, I think they got a good thing going on. I'm interested to see how this game will turn out though when they go to play at Camp Nou or Barcelona. So let's see who again played. Then we had the Atletico Dortmund. I didn't watch that one precisely, and that was the last one. But I already knew Madrid would get it. Dortmund is very poor this year. They're trying to figure things out. They don't even know what the hell is
conceding
going on.
A lot of goals. A lot of goals.
So that was it for the recap. And make sure the Champions League, I think, is this week.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep it kayfabe for this.
Leg.
When this episode comes out, a few hours before some of the matchups. So you can actually listen to us if you're so inclined, and I think you better be.
Yeah.
While PSG go to Barcelona and Atletico Madrid go to Dortmund.
Oof. Arsenal, Liverpool. Oh la la. No, was that? Yeah.
We're talking about them on the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aston Villa 2-0. And what did I say? I said, you got Aston Villa. They still have to play Tottenham.
Yep.
They really have a lot of tough fixtures coming.
But we said that Liverpool have the easiest run, and they drop 3 points against Palace. I'm not saying that Arsenal are still favorites, but like, those were 3 massive points for Liverpool to drop as well. They obviously, it felt like Arsenal took Villa for granted a little bit.
Yes.
And it feels like Unai Emery is full of spite. And he can just pull out crazy stuff when he wants to. He's amazing.
Get this though. City has Brighton, Forest, Wolves, Fulham, Spurs, right? The only person that can disturb their peace is Spurs, to be honest. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Arsenal has Wolves, Chelsea,
United,
Spurs, United.
I know. Yeah,
crazy.
We were saying this back, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, of trying to see down the road for all 3 teams.
And I already knew deep down and I said it. Aston Villa would disturb everyone.
Yeah.
I
mean,
they're
4th on the table.
They are playing well.
Yeah,
it's not like and Unai Emery is really good at figuring tweaks for a particular game, like the way they play Arsenal, mid block worked very well. So
and I forget who said it exactly, but it's like from a starting 11 basis, Aston Villa are not far behind anyone in the top 6. The only thing that they don't have, that the title contenders have, is a deeper bench.
Yes.
Their starting 11 can go toe-to-toe with Liverpool and City and Arsenal and fare a very good chance. It's just that those 3 respective clubs have some people on the bench that can come in and relieve and tactically change, whereas that's what Villa's, they don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
But their starting 11 can go toe-to-toe with anybody, man.
That is true. So,
and I'm really excited to see, because I think that they've earned their Champions League spot. And much like Newcastle, I want to see what's going to happen. Because I think that this Villa side could get out of the group stage.
Yeah.
Although, I think that Newcastle could have gotten out of the group stage too if they hadn't drawn an absolutely wretched group. That was the reason they didn't make it.
Yeah. But if you're Arsenal, though, it's tough. It's like, I know a lot, and I read a lot of comments too. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, they're doing it again. They will choke, and they're just choking.
Doing it again.
But the choking is a little bit they're doing in terms of tactics, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
At the start of the season, you gotta win. See, City is not doing anything different. The thing that they're doing is just getting your point in early. So at the end, they don't have to scramble like you guys. Now, what you're doing is the games that you were supposed to win, you didn't win, is coming back to haunt you, because now you have these tough fixtures. And guess what? I know people like Aston Villa, they also want that spot. People like United, they have nothing to lose. Now it's just time for them to disturb everyone's peace.
Yeah.
People like Chelsea, you never know. Chelsea is this season, you really don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
One day they could be extremely good, and the next day it was.
All they can do is headhunt from now on.
Yeah,
and,
so
I mean, it can happen. But like, I feel like City, even though they haven't played to their top level this entire season, they've distributed it to where when they have had runs of bad form, or dropping 2 points when they probably should have taken all 3, they've done it at times in which they could get away with it.
Yeah,
they've almost been able to like control, like without the ship completely coming down.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the difference. They have a bit more poise. And Arsenal, like, they have to go on these like 8-game runs, and then they get burnt out. Whereas City can get a draw and then win 3, and then get a draw and then win 4. Like they're a bit more controlled and less emotional.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it's seen. And also, we mentioned, Villa's bench compared to the other clubs. You can almost say the exact same thing about City and everyone else. Their bench is unreal, even compared to Liverpool, even compared to Arsenal. It's next level for sure.
I wonder if Tomiyasu or another left back could have been better instead of Zinchenko.
100%.
Playing that game.
100%.
Because one thing that Zinchenko is good at is, I mean, he's a good left back, but he has his flaws, especially when you're playing against someone that's set up a mid block. It becomes difficult.
Yep.
Because what he does, he pushes a lot forward. Then other guy has to go extremely high too.
Yep.
Then you live in this. It becomes just difficult to control the game in the middle.
Yep.
And Aston Villa kind of understood that. So I feel like they should have rethought this whole thing even after the first half. Arteta should have seen this coming. I mean, it was really great.
He's playing Zinchenko more like a midfielder anyway. And ever since he signed him to Arsenal, that's the way that he's performed. And that's what I thought that the answer was going to be before they figured out Jorginho in the middle, Rice on the left, and Odegaard on the right. I thought it was going to be Zinchenko on the left, Rice in the middle, and Odegaard on the right. And that's not awful, but that remedies things, and you can put Kivior in the back, even though Arsenal sort of have an abundance of fullbacks right now. But Ben White is obviously your number one right. It's end of discussion there. Jurrien Timber is your number 1 on the left, despite playing 60 minutes this entire season. Not his fault. Horrible luck. But Tomiyasu is definitely your number 2 in that situation. And he's had a couple of little knocks this season as well. And then you have to make the choice between Zinchenko and Kivior. Kivior is more defensive-minded. but has little to no pace and questionable positioning at times. He's put himself in some awful spots that have led to the direct concession of goals. And then Zinchenko gets a little too in his own head about what's going to be the offensive build-up and leaves himself stranded out in defense as well. So like neither one on that left side is that defensively cohesive.
Yeah.
And it makes me very thankful that, for like subjectively as a fan, that Tomiyasu is back and that
some people
maybe we see Timber by the end of the season. I don't know.
Some people were kind of happy because, you know, the whole shebang of Arsenal fans thinking, oh, you know, they're the men, they control everything, they talk a lot everywhere. Now, because after the Liverpool game, they were already talking a lot.
Yeah.
But now, a lot of people are happy y'all are losing.
Yeah, well, and it's like I've never understood the chatty fan.
Yeah.
I've never, because like at the end of the day, you're not out there playing. It always kind of drives me nuts. And because I'm that way with any kind of sport. And certain fan bases are known to be a little more chatty than others.
Yeah.
United's pretty chatty.
It's cool then.
Yeah, Arsenal's pretty chatty as well, and I get that. And it wouldn't be the first time that the club or team that I support has fans that even I as a supporter don't like. I come from a family that are Crimson Tide fans. I don't like other Crimson Tide fans.
Yeah.
They're fucking annoying. Like, I get why other fan bases do not like that fan base.
Yeah.
And I don't like those other fan bases either. But it's like the only people that I talk to about that club is my own family.
Yeah.
Because I don't like talking to, like, you know, you pass the guy at Walmart with the fucking hat.
Yeah.
And his camo pants on, and you're like, you're probably really fucking annoying to talk to. Like, I really don't want to talk to you. And then the guys that are all decked out in Michigan because they're good for the first time in 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucking annoying too. I know you are, you little piece of shit. Sorry. But like, yeah.
But there's a whole thing, right? At what point the questions, because I think the questions that will be asked or will be sort of in everyone's mind is, you know, let me even take it back one step. At first, it was, can Arteta transform Arsenal to be a challenger, to be a team that could challenge or potentially challenge everyone for the titles?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Now, the next question is, could he get past the next level?
Could he actually win? Yeah. And I mean, that's, you know,
that'll be the question for ages. I feel like I'm seeing Klopp in Dortmund all over again.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you've got to look at the absolute dynasty that City have become, and you don't want to belittle Liverpool either, because they've won.
Yeah.
They've won one of each.
Mm-hmm.
And how many has Pep brought home in the year the 1 year that he does win European trophies, he wins the treble.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not trying to say that Klopp hasn't pulled his weight in this whole thing, but like, they've won two major trophies in the entire time that he's been there. Not dismissing that, but it's like,
but at least
you don't know if Arteta is going to be able to get that one.
Yeah.
Because if Klopp can only get one of each, where do you stand? Because I mean, because I think that Klopp's a better manager than Pep overall, but he doesn't have the same resources, and that's the important thing. If that makes sense.
I see where you're coming from. But now, so I guess the next question will be, if City keeps winning, although the Premier League is more competitive, but overall, on average, they have the same winning teams that have been winning as other leagues. So the question will be, is it really? It might be competitive, but it's the same.
Yeah, and like
there's this one guy that will win it.
The Premier League is slowly becoming the Bundesliga. Really, what it's becoming is it's becoming La Liga.
Yeah,
where you've got two clubs that are having real fights for the title, with a soft third coming up with it. That's Atletico.
Yeah.
And every 15 to 20 years or so, you get like a Villarreal that sneaks in there or something.
Yes.
Really, it is becoming a La Liga style. But now that Klopp is leaving, in like permanently. Like we understand that he is going.
The only person that since we don't know who's going to take over and how he will do next season.
Xabi Alonso could come in and win the title the first year.
I don't think he was going to come,
dude. Dude, I would probably shed a tear. Could you imagine if he came to Liverpool and actually took the Premier League title that first year like he did at Leverkusen? You just think of these things. It's like that's almost like wrestling booking. You're like, oh my god, that's amazing.
No, I don't know what I will say. I will be like, hey man, who gave you that look? I need to see that person.
Yeah.
But I think Liverpool should actually go for Unai Emery because think about it, having that much resources and how he is doing at Aston Villa, he will do great.
He has
Liverpool
proven
has more
Premier
resources,
League.
yes.
Yeah, and he has proven Premier League success.
Yes,
he knows how to get a lot out of a little.
Yeah.
In multiple leagues, he's done it with Villarreal.
Yeah.
And Sevilla.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's shown that he knows how to do what Xabi Alonso is doing at Leverkusen, getting the most out of, not the least, because we don't want to say that, because that Leverkusen side as individuals are still very good players, but getting a lot out of what you would expect, not as much to come out of essentially.
Yeah, I feel like
Emery's been doing that longer.
But if that happened, then the next question of next year will be, hey, do we go ahead and call it City is gonna win? Because now that Klopp is not there. Because at this point we don't know if the next person is going to be as competitive or bring that competitiveness. Then we will officially and know at the start of the season, City is going to win.
Well, we also don't know
how Arsenal is going to do
that, but also, I mean, this Manchester City is a step down from last year's. That's an objective fact. Based on points, but also based on goals conceded especially. We don't know how well the rebuild's going to go because they're in an awkward middle stage right now of certain people going in and out. With Bernardo Silva more than likely going to Barcelona, with Kevin De Bruyne probably getting less minutes as the seasons go on. Obviously, accepting the fact that Jack Grealish will not be your number one on the left, but that Jeremy Doku is possibly not cut out for that either.
Yeah.
Like they're not at their absolute best. They could be slightly a step down next season from this season, just like they were from last. So or they could figure it out and right the ship and get more signings in and get right back to where they were. You don't really know. I did not expect them to step down this far after winning that treble. So I wouldn't be surprised again if next season they make a couple more signings that are not quite sticking the same way that they were used to for the last 7 or 8 years. So we'll see.
Well, let's see how the Crystal Palace winning 1-0 to Liverpool, and I said this many times. It's not that Liverpool didn't play good. It's just that Crystal Palace played absolutely better.
Yeah.
And I don't like to say luck, but they were good. I mean, they played like anything that was shot from Liverpool to their side bounced off. From the goalkeeper, from everyone, and they defended with all your heart. I mean, I was like, it felt like they were on a mission. Liverpool, their problem, and still remains their problem. They had so many shots, but guess what? They couldn't convert. So that was their problem too. So
well, in Crystal Palace, I believe they haven't been relegated since 1977. Something like that. I mean, they despite them kind of been, they've been languishing in the mid-table. I mean, that's a club that they are used to the Premier League. Like, to me, those aren't as surprising. And for some reason, people are always surprised by those. And it's like, they're the ones that I would always say that, like, oh, well, don't be surprised when the bottom of the table beat you because they have something to prove. And it's like, I get that. But why would you take for granted the side that's been in the Premier League for decades? Like they know what it takes, whether or not they can always achieve that. Like, yeah, they can put one over on Liverpool on a bad day. Of course they can.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like they're an underappreciated side. Yeah. There are a couple of those in every league, I think.
21 shots to 8. If you shoot that much, you can score. You gotta rethink the whole attack thing.
You just gotta rethink it. We're just not gonna attack.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, Crystal Palace did a good job. Eze always coming in that left flank. I mean, overall, they did their thing. So that right flank every time with Bradley, Alistair. I don't know how they couldn't they couldn't defend. But
what about that save from Robertson?
Yeah, that was
he slid in and took it right off the goal line. That was a wild save.
Even Henderson, the goalkeeper, great man.
Yeah. What about Van Dijk sliding on his ass?
Oh.
Not that it matters, because it's only one thing. But also, I don't know. I don't know. All season long, people are trying to say,
he's the best.
He's
ever.
the best. Well,
no,
and
people are trying to say he's the best ever. Now, those people, the freaking lunatics,
morons.
But I will give him, and I think this is what we're gonna discuss about in summer. But I think I can find him a solid top 10 spot.
Well, yeah, and the week after the end of the Premier League season, we will have our Academy Awards.
Definitely
the top corner awards. But we'll put together our Premier League best 11. But we've even talked about putting together our top 5 Premier League center backs to see if he's even in that list. And I'm not certain that he is. Maybe in the next couple of weeks we can unveil what we believe our top 5 Premier League center backs of all time would be.
I feel like he might be though. Top
see,
5.
Okay, maybe we do it next week or the week after. But
yeah,
I just don't believe so. I don't believe so.
There's so many good top 5s actually. If it's Premier League, I feel like he might actually be top 3 because I don't see
top 3.
I don't see who was better than him actually. Across all leagues, no, but just in Premier League, it's gonna be difficult.
Now are we talking? Like, are we talking about like?
It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy.
Now we're talking about like accolades as well too, right? Not just like physical prep.
He would take a lot of these guys because the only thing that will if you have one that has more accolades but less playing rate and quality like him, that's also a thing, You got
but like,
Van Dijk has in Premier League is not good with center backs.
Yeah, I don't
remember who was better than like even in this time who's better than him if you take overall 12 years or 10 years. I don't see who was better than him.
Yeah, I mean in the last 10 years that's a bit of a tougher one, but I think historically speaking, I don't know.
We're gonna get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Because I'm not buying what you're selling on that one. Sorry.
You'll see.
I will see. You're gonna make me see.
When you get deeper into looking at it, you will be like, Bayer Leverkusen just won the title. How bad that? It's over. They did it.
They could lose every game from now until the end of the season, and it wouldn't matter. But you know what? I want to see them undefeated because you know what? I want an invincible season with a title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's the important thing.
Bayer Leverkusen not only managed to be Bundesliga champions. It's the first time in the first time of the club history, but they have just equaled the record for most unbeaten games in a single top season. I'm not talking about in the league, because in the league you had probably AC Milan of whatever year or 12. I think AC Milan of 11, 12. No, Inter Milan, I think so. But I'm talking all across all the competitions by Leverkusen. And these guys did it. They came in, they took it. And the game against Werder Bremen, it was just an affirmation. It was they were making a statement that this wasn't luck. Because 5-1 or 5-0.
Yeah.
It was a statement and saying to everyone in the league, this is our title this year. And that game was absolutely nuts. Wade's crazy. Killer. He did his thing.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Did you see the comparison between Kingsley Coman and Harry Kane? The domestic titles?
Yeah, Kingsley Coman had never... Since he started playing or professional... never a year that he hasn't been in a winning title team,
which is fucking amazing.
This is actually crazy
because he won 2 with PSG, he won 2 with Juventus, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
and then the 1 year that he doesn't win is when Harry Kane is there. It's sad. It's unfortunate because I mean, Harry Kane is objectively an amazing striker.
Mm-hmm.
But something's going on. It's and again,
it's gotta be that luck.
Man. We've made jokes, but it is not just him. Bayern Munich have not been good at the back. Their midfield has been very rough. You have a world-class player like Kimmich that is, for one reason or another, not playing well and not in your starting rotation.
That's true.
It's more than just Harry Kane's bad luck because he's still putting a ton of goals in the back of the net. But we also talked about it as well a couple of weeks ago. yeah, you're putting in, you're getting hat tricks against so and so and so and so. You can't sneak in one extra goal when it matters most.
And for you, football nerds out there, before Leverkusen,
yeah, you nerds,
last team which won Bundesliga for the first time in their history was Wolfsburg. And if you remember, 2008, 2009, and it's that in that team you had Edin Dzeko at the time before he went to City.
Yeah.
So that was the last team before Leverkusen. So
wild.
Kudos to Leverkusen.
Good for them, man. Yeah, very good.
And the street leading to their stadium, I think it just got renamed to Xavi Alonso Street or something like that.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, you become the legend.
Right, of course. I'm not surprised.
That's the legendary status, from the jump. There's nothing that would top that.
He's got to get a statue.
Because they never saw anything.
Yeah.
Before him, he comes in, he gives them their first title since when?
Ever.
So yeah, at this point, build him a stadium.
And they could genuinely win the double.
Oh yeah.
Because Liverpool shat the bed against Atalanta. So that 3-0 down. I mean, could they come back 4-0 in the second leg? Yeah, they could. That'd be so fucking Liverpool. It'd be hilarious.
I feel like they could, but actually I'll give 55-45. Yeah. They could because Liverpool they have a great manager. He could turn this thing around. But on 55%, which I think they cannot, it's because they don't convert. Their efficiency is really low converting goals, and that's their big problem.
Yeah, and it used to not be.
Because they don't have good strikers.
Mane, Firmino, and Salah, but now we've said that Diaz and Nunez are not quite doing the same thing. And you know what? If they were hosting the second leg in Liverpool, then yes, but no.
But if you beat them on Anfield, there's no way.
You're going to Bergamo. Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's not happening.
No.
So Bayer Leverkusen's fortunes might not be over yet. Like they might win another major trophy. Yeah. How insane would that be?
And you know what's crazy? Bayern Munich too is not actually playing bad. People don't understand. I think this season might be one of their best season actually. It's just because Leverkusen haven't lost.
Yeah.
So the ratio at which we are seeing things from our lens is Munich is playing bad, but they are not. And in fact, Hurricane has 39 goals, 12 assists.
It's wild.
Yeah, and he's the first in that league. Then the next one is I think Victor Gyökeres from where he play again. He has 36 goals. The next one is Luc de Jong, fifth with 35 goals. But they are not playing bad. Things are just more interesting, more competitive, and also because if someone have been used to winning this for so long, and an underdog comes in, swoops in, and just wins everything, it creates this whole thing.
I do think though that because I'm looking at their goal difference, and I mean, you got 82 in the back of the net. They can't be conceding 36 goals in a season though.
No, but that's not the first time they do that.
That's true. I mean, it's true. But I'm saying like. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's in part that Leverkusen are playing that well, but also, I mean, even though it is the Bundesliga and you're used to winning 10 in a row, it's just it's tough for you to maintain that top spot when you're conceding like that.
The president, the Bayern Munich president, he's hilarious. He said something like "Congratulations to Bayern Leverkusen," and he was like, next year we winning by it was good while it lasted. We got to bring it back to Munich.
Sure. But, and it's like that goes without saying, but you still said it, didn't you?
Bayer Leverkusen CEO, every year we need to sell one big player to find budget for new signing, so probably we will sell one player. So now this is where I'm kind of scared, because who are you selling? And if you're selling the big player in your team, how will the balance be next year? Who's coming up to fill that space?
Because there's three potential, but only one has been in the news lately. Frimpong has actually been in the news. It looks like Victor Boniface has been less on the potential selling list, and it looks like they're trying to hold Florian Wirtz as long as possible.
But I feel like Florian Wirtz might leave because he's doing good.
Maybe, but I mean, take another crack, boys. Come on. Because this season has been so unbelievable.
You think next season they can pull this off?
You don't want to stay like I want to see him try. They're so fun to watch. I want to see him try.
Yeah. But it will be interesting next season pulling this off in 40 minutes, they might burn down the stadiums.
I mean, who's your remedy for the back line? De Ligt has to go. Kim Min-jae needs to find some good fortune again. Eric Dyer was never the answer.
What about Xhaka though? Leaving Arsenal.
Yeah.
Where you're not really. Well, I mean,
I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this.
Wanted and going there and winning, and his goal that day was against Werder Bremen was amazing. I mean, goes there. Guess what? Wins the title.
Good for him.
Something a lot
Bastard.
of.
No, I'm actually very happy for him. I really hated how the very, very vocal Arsenal fans treated him.
Yeah.
When Arsenal were at their lowest point. Despite the fact, he was a veteran player at their worst time. When you thought about the players at the core of who Arsenal's identity was at that low point, he was one of them.
Yeah.
Not that he deserved. Certain people, they're not fans.
To rebuild rebuilding Arsenal.
He was part of the lowest point, and he was part of this resurgence in form. He was very important in those. And you had ridiculous fans that were threatening his wife and speaking poorly of his wife and kids. It's that shit's ridiculous. That was why he kind of resented the Arsenal fans for a while, and I understand that. And you want to be one of the guys. It's look, man, they don't represent all the fans, but you're still having to listen to them.
Yeah.
So it's at the I can't say anything that can take away what someone else said to you. Aside from, most of us do not feel that way.
Yeah.
But the ones that do are the ones that are talking the loudest, and that's the unfortunate thing. So I am actually glad that he found success with Bayer Leverkusen. I think it made sense when they signed him. I didn't want him to go because I knew that he still had stuff like this to give. Yeah. But hey man, what about being a part of that side is pretty wild.
Xavi Alonso recognizing that he can bring a lot to his team and just dropping him in that midfield and things working out for him. So
yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
They needed a veteran player and they got one.
Yeah,
and he works his ass off. He works his ass off when he's motivated.
Yeah.
And he was motivated last year with Arteta, and this year with Xabi Alonso. Good for him.
Yeah, he's definitely killing it. Yeah. I reading they feeding a lot of data, and was trying to figure out. I think feeding a lot of data of the Premier League to this AI thing, and they were trying to figure out, or the AI thing predict was gonna be winning.
Yeah.
Guys, who they predict? City.
Yeah, sure. Yep. They've had even though they've had dips in form. All three teams have had dips in form, but I feel like City's has always been the most controlled. As controlled as a dip in form can possibly be.
Yeah.
But they've been the ones that have had the tightest grip on it.
Could you try again?
Thanks, Siri.
Yeah.
Hey Siri. Siri, go fuck yourself.
Oh dang.
Hey Siri. Dumb bitch. Anyway, it makes sense. They're the ones that have been there the most. They're the ones that you inherently expect to be there. So the AI is basing it on averages, and the average of the last 10 years, that it couldn't not be City in terms of that.
You know what, I think that this year there've been a lot of good football across all the leagues, and that the talent pool and the team history and how big and good the team is make it with all those factors, most of the teams having either one of these factors are not playing at their fullest potential.
Absolutely, yeah.
But still winning somehow, or at least being second.
Yeah. So they've not been as consistent as they're used to, but to me that shows how, even though it is the most competitive league in Europe for the most part, even though those top clubs are not playing at that same level, it shows how over the last couple of years how much higher of a standard they're being held to.
Yeah.
All three of these teams can drop their overall play rate, but they're still in the top three because they're still just objectively those top sides. And Villa's able to come in because they're playing much better than their expectations.
Yeah. Same thing even in La Liga, because Madrid has with so much potential and talent. It's not like they crushing these guys. Because if you think Madrid of Mourinho, they were crushing people. But this guy's so much talent. But
hell, Girona spent time at the top of the table. at the top of the table. They were up there for a while.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like that's how competitive it was in the Spanish league for a while until they ran away with it.
Same thing for Bundesliga. You would think so. I feel like overall, even in Italy, right now. So
yeah,
I feel like it's been interesting. And one of the leagues that were kind of slipping a little bit, especially in the last 5 years, was really Bundesliga.
Yeah.
With this whole Leipzig last year, by Leverkusen this year, it has become really interesting. And you know what people like to see in real life and ever? They like to see winning people fail. This is how human beings act.
Yeah.
So if you fail, it's really good for them.
Do you think that it's like do you think that they like to see the successful person fail more than the underdog succeed?
Yeah.
You think so?
Because the underdog, when it's a Cinderella story, they want to see the story played out.
Yeah.
You are really, really supported as an underdog until you become the big dog. And everybody's like, I don't want you to win anymore.
Yeah. Because I guess I see sports a different way.
Like if you had Celta Vigo coming in La Liga and killing everybody would go for it.
Yeah. Because it's like, to me, it's not that I'm trying to think how to say it. I don't care about Bayern Munich playing horribly.
Yeah.
I care about Leverkusen playing very well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care one way or another. I guess the Italian league is that way as well. It's not so much that I want Inter Milan to lose.
Yeah.
I like Napoli. I like watching how they played. They're not at the same level. I liked seeing that underdog come to life and light the arena up more than I liked seeing Inter Milan in a slump. I don't care about wanting a team to play poorly. I like seeing the young, because underdogs all play the same way. Like regardless of sports, they're young, they're energetic, they're exciting.
Yeah.
So not only are they actually winning these games and actually moving themselves up the tables or up the standings, but they're fun to watch in the process. Whereas teams like Inter Milan, I mean, like they're just not that exciting to watch. But that doesn't mean that I want them to lose.
Yeah. So
I always sort of support an underdog more than the death of a giant, if that makes sense. But I see why people would be inherently more excited when a big team loses. But I like watching good matches, and that usually involves an underdog being successful.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
Wrap this shit up, man.
Yeah. Stay tuned for next week. Or week after next. We're gonna do a lot of the recap of the Champions League. We got great games. If you haven't watched any games for the Champions League, I encourage you guys to go watch. Have fun. The Premier League is still in this whole thing. We never know. City could lose a game. I don't know.
They could.
But
absolutely.
This at this point, it's not certain. But on the other side too, I'm more excited for the Champions League. I'm a big Champions League fan.
Yeah.
I like the leagues too, but Champions League is where I really want to see you backing that stuff up when you are in your own league.
It's fantasy booking, man. It's so cool. Whenever I explain the Champions League and what it is to Americans or like uninitiated people, that they don't like, their eyes like light up. Because I always say, I'm like, imagine if it's the NFL, if every nation had an NFL league and you're a Super Bowl winner and the last 3 teams in your conference, they all get put in a pot.
Yeah.
And the other leagues do as well. So it's literally like your AFC and NFC conference finalists from every league in the continent coming together, and they go, oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah.
you're like, that's exactly what it is. It's
that's
like,
display of the highest football in its artistic form.
Different play styles come together, German and Spanish, French and English.
But another thing, when we talk about play style, and one thing that I always bring, because my dad and we watch a lot of Premier League, and we've always had this this thing of saying, Premier League is the most competitive league, right? But there's, I'm always 80%, 20% is competitive in the league, yes, but all this competitiveness, they can back it up when they're out of the league, and I'll tell you why. Spanish football is the best football in the last 30 years
at the top level.
Yes,
not in the entire league, but
at the top level. Because guess what? And the reason why Arsenal and City are running over Premier League is because they're not playing English football.
Yeah.
They're playing Spanish football.
Yeah.
And that's why you can have a top team in the English league playing English football against a mid-table team in Spanish. They're going to beat the hell out of that team. The reason is because the tempo is slow. They control the game. In Premier League, you tend to go too fast. But if you control the game,
make simple mistakes.
Yeah. You got it. So you guys out there, don't go too crazy about it.
Yeah.
So
calm down. Calm down.
Yeah. But go watch the Champions League. And goal of the week.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Let's get ready for goal of the week. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It was Tchouaméni.
Yeah. Unbelievable goal.
Yeah. That knuckleball, that drop. Oh my goodness.
It's like it fell off a building. It just went straight down.
Yeah.
It's pretty unbelievable.
Just fixing the goalkeeper, realizing he's off.
Yeah.
Bam.
From outside the box too. Because
I felt like it was a Ronaldo strike.
Yeah,
that's like Ronaldo style.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When we were talking about it, because you hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
While we were hanging out, I was like, it's like just inside the box.
Yeah.
And it just drops off a fucking cliff. No, when we rewatched it, I was like, oh, he's like well outside the box.
Yeah.
It made it more impressive. The more that you watch it, the more impressive that it gets. And it's like, obviously, overhead bicycle kicks are crowd pleasers. So Garnacho's goal against Everton is still probably the goal of the year. But this one's got to be up there somewhere because you don't see that kind of rotation on a knuckleball from that distance, from that kind of a player in that kind of a situation. I don't know. That was a wild goal.
Yeah. Give a round of applause for our guy Tchouaméni. Then the player of the week goes to Florian Wirtz. Another round of applause for him.
Yeah.
Bayer Leverkusen winning it all.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Last game to win. Not the last game of the season, but he comes in and I think he comes off the bench too. 3 goals. Hat trick. MF trick.
Winning at home for the title, because like sometimes titles are they're won on the road.
Yeah.
And it's kind of deflating when that happens. But no, scoring a hat trick at home in front of the fans, wild. Did you see the videos of the fans storming the pitch?
Oh yeah.
It was good stuff.
I think he actually was one of the guys that were going through trying to hug the fans and everything.
I saw someone dunk like 3 or 4 steins of beer on Xabi Alonso's head.
What?
Completely submerged. You didn't see those? Oh, dude, dunking like just pouring beer on his head. He's sopping wet and he's just laughing his ass off.
I wonder if they all got drunk. It's like German.
It's a German club. Yeah, of course they did. Don't even ask that question.
Man, mamma mia.
Yeah.
Well,
but all right, boys.
We will be with you guys in the next 1-2 weeks.
Yeah, so we'll have a reaction video for you next Tuesday. I'll be out of the country on an anniversary trip with my wife.
Yeah.
So you all can suck an ass while I'm gone. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But we'll have content for you because we know that you need it.
Yeah.
And I'll feed you, baby bird. Just open your mouth.
And guess what? Go listen to our podcast on all our platforms, be it Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, right? And go have fun. Turn on the bell notification when we drop videos. Give us a like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, comment, subscribe, give us a star review on Spotify. That helps us out quite a bit. And every time that you...
I love it.
Okay, there you go.
So great.
I heard
This
her.
is my trade guy.
I heard her creeping up behind me.
Yeah.
No, so whenever you share and subscribe, but whenever you comment as well, it really helps with the algorithms to get us out there.
Yeah.
Our numbers are increasing every single week because you guys are doing that. So please keep it going. We would like to keep doing this as well. So help us, help you, because you need it, you fucking fiends, don't you? You need it. All right.
Yes, sir. All right. See you guys. Bye.
Goodbye.